Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Marci Bryant, and I'm glad you're joining us today. This is the show where we want to encourage you to get up off of the couch, and we want you to pursue and follow your dreams. Remember, your words shape your world, so we want you to watch what you say, and remember that your actions become your habits, and your habits become your destiny. So if you want a good destiny, then you're going to have to watch what you say and watch what you do and watch who you hang around, okay? We have a great guest in the studio today, and I am excited to bring him to you because he's going to tell us all about the world of DJing. And not only that, he is going to give you the highs, lows, ups, and downs, and he is going to let you know that there's nothing better than pursuing your dreams. So with that, I'm going to take you over and introduce you to our guest for today. His name is DJ Smoove. And welcome to the show.
Well, Dr. Bryant, it's nice to be here. I appreciate you spending this time talking to me about something I feel very passionate about, that I enjoy immensely, and that pretty much I'm making a living out of, which is a blessing. It really is.
Very good. DJ Smoove. Now, before we start talking about this area that you're so passionate about, tell me how you came up with that name, DJ Smoove.
Well, it all started as I was walking to the first campus meeting of the radio station. I got on campus at the wonderful, wonderful Lincoln University. Shout out to my LU people. And myself and my buddy that I met at the dorm, who was also into DJing, were walking to this radio station meeting. And we both knew that we wanted to be involved in the radio. We both wanted to DJ. That was our passion. And we just came up with it. I walked along. He said, what are you going to be? I said, I don't know. And he said, well, I'm going to be Finesse. And I said, well, I'm going to be DJ Smoove. And that's it. I just liked the name Smoove. It stuck, and that's what I went with. It just came out of the air. Sometimes things just come out of the air and hit your gut, and you got to go with it. And that's what it's been ever since.
DJ Smoove. And it works for you, right?
To this day, I still have a lot of people that just call me Smoove all the time. They say, hey, Smoove, what's up? Come on over. So it's really, I definitely am happy. It's a very common DJ name, to be honest with you, but I never worry about what other people are doing.
All right. Now with that, we're going to go into what you are doing. What makes you so passionate about being a DJ? And before you answer that, trail right on into it, tell us the types of events that you get to DJ for and what makes it a passionate path for you.
Well, DJing comes in many forms. You have your tour DJ that runs around with artists and works with different artists. You have your DJs that are used to doing nightclubs. You have your DJs that are into banquets, birthdays, and weddings. And wedding DJs are very lucrative DJing. And you also have those DJs that just do mobile gigs, birthday parties and such. So there's so many different types and channels and ways you can be a DJ. There's also DJs that are producers that just do tracks or basically remixes, and they make a lot of money doing that. And you, of course, have your international tour DJs. The niche that I seem to fit more than anything is a banquet / wedding / special events DJ or a mobile DJ. And the reason why that appealed to me the most is because I found that I connect well with people. I'm very good at making people feel good and comfortable in their environment, and I'm very good at affecting people's emotions and taking them through an event with a series of different things that I do to impact those emotions and make that event memorable. And that's what I've found to be my special gift, is the connection to people and making people feel happy and feel good. And so to me, that really was more impactful when you deal with a banquet or a special occasion, more so than just a regular club every week where the people come, they drink, they dance, and then they go home. My thing is, I like to make people's events so memorable that they're talking about it years and years later. And for me, that impacts their lives.
That's good. Okay, how do you go about making an event memorable? And right now, two things stand out in my mind, and I remember it because I was there. But I'm going to let you say what you do, and then I'm going to tell you what made the event memorable for me.
Okay. Oh, what do I do to make it memorable?
Memorable, yes.
Music is emotional. Music impacts people's emotions depending on what you play and how you play it and when you play it. People generally, when they come to these events, they want to have a good time. And what you need to do is you need to touch those songs that will make their walls go down, and they will then relax enough to have a good time. A lot of people come in and they're stiff, and they come in like, okay, I'm just going to do this and then I'm going home. When you break down those walls with music, you impact their emotions to the point where they relax. And once they relax, they're more apt to do something that they wouldn't normally do, that they may find embarrassing or uncomfortable. The comfort level goes up as they begin to relax. And to me, it's a science. It's almost like I'm pushing buttons, literally. I know exactly what song to play, when to play it, to impact whoever's in the audience. And it's almost like a mind reading thing. You get a general idea just based on conversation. DJing is more than just standing back and playing music. It is going out and interacting with your crowd. And a lot of DJs that don't do that don't see the results of that. But when you do impact your crowd, when you touch their emotions, they remember it. It becomes very memorable.
I have to say that. I have to agree with that, because I remember maybe a year or two ago, I was at an event where you were actually the DJ. And I was one of those ones that was not going to do anything except stay for a certain amount of time and just leave. And I saw you do something that was absolutely amazing. You left your DJ table and you actually came out and you started grabbing people in the audience, getting them up out of their chair. And I happened to be one of the people that you got up out of the chair, and I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm on this floor and I'm dancing. And before you knew it, I was having a real good time, and I ended up not leaving when I thought I was, because I wanted to stay a little bit longer. And a second thing that impressed me is I got to see inside of your studio one day, and you had this big canvas with a background and lighting and what have you. You know, I need you to talk a little bit like that, but it made me feel like I could actually perform, and I'm not a performer. So I think you hit on something when you say touching people. So tell me, you know, you can elaborate on what I just said, or tell me other ways in which you've touched people that made them do more than what they had anticipated.
Well, let's talk first about the equipment. You have to have top-notch equipment when you DJ. If you are not serious about it, you can buy equipment that is second rate, and you can buy stuff that you can get by with. But once you become serious about a passion of yours, you want to really purchase the equipment that you need to perform that passion properly. You don't want to shortchange yourself, and you want to go out and get the quality equipment that people are expecting. Because the last thing you want to do is have something break down or something not work. So as far as the lighting, that was something new I bought that I saw that I didn't see a lot of DJs in this area have. And I thought that it'd be great to have something big to have in a big package. And if you look on my website, trueblueproductions.com, you'll see an example of some of the setups that I have and some of the examples of what I've done to touch people's lives. But touching on what you said as far as going out in the audience and picking out people to dance, DJing is observing. DJing is looking at people and trying to figure out what is going to make them tick, or what is going to make them generate that good feeling. It's about generating those good feelings that people want or pay for entertainment for. With any entertainment, if you go to a Beyonce concert, you don't want her to stand there and just sing the song. You want her to touch you emotionally. And that's what performing is all about. That's what DJing is all about. That's what entertainment is all about. So when people hire me to do a party or an event, I want to make sure that every single person at that event comes away with a great taste in their mouth, with something that says, I can't believe I did or saw X. I can't believe this was so that. I didn't expect to actually do these things. There'd be times when I go out in the audience and there are people that can't get up out of their chair. They may have some ailment, they may have some leg issues, they may have a walker. I will go and dance with that person while they're in their chair just to make them feel like they're a part of the event. Because everyone needs to feel that. If you're paying your good money for entertainment, you should receive that type of service in any type of situation. Now, that's a banquet DJ, an entertainment DJ, a mobile guy, and that's kind of what my expertise is. But there are different aspects to the game. When you're a bar DJ or a club DJ, you're not only measured by the performance, you're measured by the amount of people that come out to see you. You are now required to pull what's called a following, and that will determine what you get paid as a DJ, because if the owner of the establishment hires you, they're required to fill the club. And it's not just you become part of the promotion package. You become the name on the flyer that's going to sell those tickets, just like a Beyonce concert. Well, if you're going to see Beyonce versus a lesser known artist, you may not fill a capacity stadium. Well, DJs are measured the same way. When you have a club DJ, he's measured by the amount of people that are coming to see him play or hear him play. And then he has to perform and make it a good time. That's the secondary part of his job, which is, unfortunately, the lane that he chose to be in. That, personally, I didn't like. I didn't feel comfortable being required to constantly pull people in and tell people, hey, you got to come see me. Hey, you got to come see me. Hey, please come see me. That being said, I can't just do one lane of DJing if I'm going to do this professionally. So I also do weekly gigs at TGI Fridays on City Line Avenue in Philadelphia. On Wednesday night, I do an event or a weekly gig at Sharpshooters in Newcastle, Delaware on Thursday night, and I also do a weekly event on Monday night at the Happy Inn in Darby, Pennsylvania. So if you want to see me and see how I play and how I interact with crowds, you can catch me at all three of those places during the week, and on the weekends I'm usually doing private mobile gigs.
Now we've got a great big range of what you do. How did you get started in this? You know, I know you said it was your passion, but everything has a beginning. You had to start somehow, somewhere, some way.
Oh, yeah.
And then once you tell me how we got started, I have some other questions that I need that's going to help clarify your life work, because, you know, there are issues that we all need to overcome from time to time. So first, how did you get started?
Well, when I was a the first moment I can remember or recall being attracted to DJing and or music was a record came out. Record was called Rapper's Delight. It came out in 1979, and that's kind of my awakening to music. I really wasn't too aware of it until that moment. When I heard that record, I went out and purchased it. It was the first record I bought. That record touched my life because it just tuned in to what I was thinking, what I was about, what I liked. It was a new thing for us. Fast forward a couple years later, I went to summer camp, and one of the counselors that was there had a DJ set up in the cabin, in the workers' cabin. So I went in. I had always listened to the radio. This is when New York radio had just started playing rap music, and this is about 1982. I got to play on the guy's set and kind of play around and see what it was like. And for some reason, anytime I would go to a party, I would be immediately attracted to what the DJ was doing. I noticed I would just filter in, and rather than interact with all the guests, I wanted to see what he was doing, how he was controlling the crowd. And it attracted me that he had such power over the crowd and could impact everybody based on the change of one song. That to me was like heroin, if you will. It was like a gift. Like, it was like a drug. Like, when you can completely change the mood of a crowd, and a huge crowd or a small crowd, it becomes something you crave, a desire of yours. Like, almost like my way of showing people my gift, showing people what I was thinking, what I was about. And when you touch them and they light up, that's magic to me. So getting back to the origin, one more thing. I had a birthday party or a graduation party in 1983. The DJ was a neighbor or one of the guys around the block. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And he brought his system over to play. He left his system at my house for 2 weeks. In that 2-week period, I got to play with his stuff, and I was hooked from there. 1983 on. Run DMC, Sucker MCs, just that era. And from then on, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. So when I got to Lincoln, I immediately sought it out.
You sought it out, and that's Lincoln University,
Lincoln
correct?
University,
okay.
1854, first black institution of higher learning.
How about that? Good. All right. Now, since you knew then that that's what you wanted to do, you sought it out. Now, I understand at Lincoln, though, you didn't pursue a music degree. You pursued another degree. So going in that direction, how did you get back into the music since you went in another direction initially?
Yeah, I majored in computer science and business administration. I got my degree because I realized, or I didn't take music seriously then. It was a side thing, a hustle, just something fun that I was doing as a hobby almost. I got my degree and got a regular job. I ended up in the 9 to 5 in the computer science division. I did IT for 20 years. But in the midst of still doing that job, I was still DJing here and there. When I got my first turntables in '89, that was it. I was DJing parties from then on. So I was doing both. I was tired all the time. I was constantly going from 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep to go to work and work 12 hours that day, just doing it in between. But over the course of the 20-year period, I had started to build up clients. I started to add to my equipment. I got my own setup, my own rig, just building things slowly. And having that second job or having that main job allowed me to build my equipment up on the side, DJing. So I did that probably from 92 till 2015. I worked 2 jobs, and sometimes it requires that. In this day and age, you really need 2 incomes to really be comfortable, if you will. A lot of people need it just to survive, to be honest with you. But so I did both for a long time because I realized I had to feed a family, and I had a young family. I was 22 with 2 children already. And
that was my next question. And how did you, with a job, working in the field in which you went to school, went to college, now you were DJing part-time. I heard you talk about all those hours. How did you balance family, your passion, and your job that had to have been very difficult from in certain time periods?
And that's what I want to talk about too. That's the challenge that I had to face and overcome, is the ability to balance all 3. There were times when my family, there was one time especially when my family sat me down and said, "Hey Dad, you're working too much. We don't see you enough. We're concerned." You know, and I got that for a long time from my wife, who, you know, would get in my ear occasionally when she didn't get the attention that she deserved and required, being my wife. And it takes your marriage through rocky roads. It really does affect and impact your relationship with those loved ones, because you have to make a decision. Am I going to continually feed my family and provide, or is this not important enough for me to take away that time from my family? And the balance is very difficult. There were times when I had to turn gigs down. Not often, I'll admit, but I did. What I've learned, though, is that money will come. I had to learn that the hard way. Money will come. Put your investment in the things that you're passionate about, and put your investment in the relationships, because at the end of your life, those are the only things that actually make a difference and matter. It's not the money you have. It's not the things you've acquired. It's the relationships you've built with all of these human beings that we're on this planet with, especially your family, who are supposed to be the closest knit to you. So the rich man is the one that is rich in those relationships. You know, you can be a billionaire and not have a friend in the world. So I had to learn that the hard way over the course of maturing in life. When you get to your 40s, you start to wake up to what's important.
Oh, tell me about it.
As you know.
Oh, yes.
40s is the awakening age. So I had to really evaluate what I wanted to do. And fortunately, I was put in a position where I was able to get a job where I worked only 3 days a week, 12 hours a day, which was tough one of those days, but it really helped because it allowed me to DJ on the weekends, which continued to extend my passion. And it gave me days off or mornings off during the week where I could spend with my family. So that's kind of how I managed it. But at the end, I was a victim to what most people in IT are a victim to, which is overseas job, shipping jobs overseas. Yes. And I got laid off. The final time I got laid off was 2015. They gave me a nice package. Shout out Farmers Insurance. And I finally took the package, and I said to myself, well, this is it. I was in my early 40s, and I decided that it was time for me to finally open the store. My best friend sat me down or had a conversation with me. He said, hey, Jay, what are you going to do after you get laid off? Because I knew it was coming 6 months in advance. And I said, I don't know. I might get another IT job. He said, you spent 20 years building this store that you have of all of these clients and all of these events and all of this experience you have in DJing. Yes. When are you going to open the store? When are you going to dedicate imagine how good you'd be if you just did that.
Oh my, did that.
And I had to think about it. This is what I know how to do.
Okay.
This is what I'm gifted at. This is what I was put on this earth to do. I just know it. You know what your purpose is. Deep down in your heart and your spirit, you know what your purpose is. Like your purpose is teaching. That's what you do.
I love to teach.
You love to teach because that is what resonates with you. That's what makes you happy.
Oh, yes.
And you're always going to perform better if you actually want to do it.
Oh, yes.
That's the secret to happiness. Having a job that you would get paid for, that you would do for free.
That you would do for free. And that's how I found out. Somebody asked me one day, what would you do for the rest of your life if you never got paid for it? And I had
If you didn't need money ever again.
That's right. And what would you do? And I says, I would teach.
You would still do this.
I would still do that. And,
Yes.
And I like something that you said earlier. The money will come because if you're doing it because you love it and you're passionate about it, you are going to do what is necessary to be the best that you can possibly be in that particular field.
And it has value.
And when you start putting it out there, people are going to notice and they're going to be drawn because you just didn't throw it together. Like you got your equipment, you took the time to know the people. By the way, those themes, I'm sure that these banquets and these the places that you DJ, they have themes, correct? Do you come up with the themes or do the people that hire you come up with the themes?
Generally, the people that hire me already know what they want. They do come with suggestions on, hey, what should I open to? What should I come in on? What do you think for this? But generally, they already have a vision of what they want with their party. Like, for instance, tomorrow night I'm doing a 70s theme party. Or not a 70s theme, but a football theme party. But it has a 70s feel to it. The list was a lot of 70s funk, and that's that party. The next night I'm doing a Caribbean party. So they already know their vision of what they want their day to be like.
Yes.
But I'm here to make it happen and make it better.
Make it happen and better. So that means you've had to do a lot of research.
Yes, I'm fluent in country, rock and roll, hip hop, R&B, reggae, African, calypso.
Ooh, I
soca.
love reggae.
Yes, I know you. I know exactly what I can play to light you up too.
That light me
Yes,
right on.
to light you right up. And to
yes.
me, that's what it's about. Life is a journey. You want to build as many positive and happy memories as possible. That's the richness of it. That's what you get out of life. It's not the money. Money is just an ends to a means. The purpose of it is to build these memories. That's why people take so much time building up this money to go on vacation for 2 weeks. Oh my God, you're on vacation. Now what? What are you going to do on vacation? What are you doing with the vacation?
All right.
Are you just sitting on the beach, drinking yourself away, or actually experiencing whatever you're doing?
Okay.
That's what life is all about.
Okay. Well, coming down to the wind down, I want you to tell me, expound on something that you said a little bit earlier about the children came to you one time and said, Dad, you know, you're spending too much time at work, not enough time with us. And we did hear the wife in the ear saying, hey, listen, you've got to make some choices. Tell me in a nutshell and tell the viewing audience what you did to compromise, to please your family, but not give up on what you actually were passionate about.
Well, I knew I couldn't cut back on my main job. That's just a salary position. You have to be there or not. I had to cut out one of the gigs. I had to stop DJing every Saturday I think I was doing Sneaker Villa at the time, which is in the Gallery Mall, when it wasn't the Gallery Mall. And that would take my whole Saturday. It would be from 12 to 8 o'clock at night Saturday. And then I would also DJ Saturday night, maybe a gig. And that's after working Monday through Friday. And doing a side gig here or there. So I had to stop doing some of the work that I was taking and sacrifice some of that work because it's a balance. Everything is a balance in life. Just like everything in moderation, everything is a balance. You have to balance your time effectively.
So you started turning down jobs.
I turned down one.
Just,
but it took my whole Saturday back.
took your whole Saturday back.
Yeah.
And so that way you devoted it to the family.
Yes.
Got them back on track.
Yes.
And then when the job itself, after so many years left, instead of going back to another job to keep you working double jobs, you decided to devote yourself full-time to being a DJ.
Yes. At that point, I was doing karaoke, so it means I could take events or jobs during the week at bars, which adds to your income. If you're just relying on the weekend income, if you have a bad weekend, you're messed up that week. Well, now I have weekly events during the week that I can rely on every week, which is really good for my job. I also have included my son, my kids grew up also. That's the other thing that really changed. My children grew up, and now I'm at the point where they're doing what they need to do to get themselves together. They're out the house. And so my son now is working as a DJ. I've trained him to do the job, and now he's under my business. He's advanced my website and my cards and my media very well. He's infused some youth to my business. So now I'm also taking on other DJs in my company so that I can now share the work, because I have a nice client base after 20, 25 years of working in the business. I also interact with other DJs and take gigs from them. So it really is wonderful. Okay. But I had to stop focusing on what I wanted to do and listen to what everybody else wanted to. When you don't listen to your loved ones, you lose them.
Oh my, you don't want to do that.
When you don't pay attention to their needs, you lose their attention, and you lose the ability to pay attention to their needs, because now they're going to push somewhere else. And so I had to realize that that was more important than the money.
Oh, wow.
Will Smith said this one time. He said, the greatest things in life are found right on the other side of fear. The moment you get through that little initial fear, you'll find the rewards are huge, huge. Like jumping out of a plane. The moment you're at the edge to about to jump, that's the moment of fear. Once you decide to just jump, it's exhilarating. Everything on the other side of that fear is exhilarating. Trust me, it is. Don't jump without preparing first. Prepare. Be ready. Be on point. But then jump. It's nothing but exhilaration on the other side of that wall. If you prepare properly, you can do it too.
All right, that is wonderful. Well, I thank you for making this interview absolutely amazing. I knew a lot before you even started, but I've even learned more. So those of you who have just listened to this interview, I want you to remember his name, DJ Smoove.
True Blue Productions.
True Blue Productions, and you'll see his information right here on the screen. Get in touch with him. Let him know that you enjoyed his interview. And I thank you, and join me next week when we'll bring another guest before you to encourage you to get off the couch and pursue your dreams. This is Dr. Marci Bryant with Power Up for Success. Have a great week.
Yeah, True Blue Productions, baby. Jay Chester, DJ Smoove. That's how we hold it down.
Raindrops,
Hey.
drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box. On your bitch, yeah, that.
Hey,
Cooking up in
that's
the
how you
fire.
drop that thing,
Raindrops,
James.
drop
Yes.
top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box. On your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something.